Let me see if there's any message. Oh, she's running a little late. She's on her way. Okay, we'll wait till you.
Right, live.
Go.
Yeah. He's been here.
What was it?
Just using my face as a placeholder.
Yeah, placeholder.
It was my placeholder was wicked. Can't think of the right word. I'm using words that's not the word. It was just broadcast. It's all down.
Beyond pretense. Time, beyond sweet.
Well, I can start the meeting with this.
I envision of.
I'm so excited about the,
Oh, yeah, that, he was a very bad team, that's right. I think, come on, yeah, it's a bad.
you gotta fix that clock. That clock's way ahead now. It's like 3 minutes ahead.
Yeah. No, it's like- Sure.
If you'd like to engage in public comment, make sure to sign your name up at the front.
Well, I mean, yeah. Remember which, yeah. Not remembering anything.
We'll start in a minute or so. We're just waiting for some of the trustees. She's on, she's not here, but she's not on. Ready? I hope we're having, someone give me this. There's- All right, everybody, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the July 4th, 2025 meeting of the Village Board of Trustees for the Village of Nye.
July
24th, what'd I say?
was the fourth.
July 24th, 2025. It'd be very tough to have a meeting on July 4th. I was thinking, so welcome, good to have you aboard. We have a full agenda tonight. We have 2 public hearings. We have a number of agenda items. We also have a presentation from Visit Nyack on the Nyack Tourism Grant and the funding that's going to be going out to various institutions. So it's a lot to cover. I did want to make 2 quick thank yous. One is, since our last meeting, we had the 4th of July fireworks. That's where the 4th of July was in my head. And I did want to thank everybody involved with, it was a wonderful show. So my thanks to the village administration, to DPW, to the fire department, to the Orangetown Police Department, to the ambulance corps, everybody who worked on the event, keeping us all safe. and putting together a great show. It was a great night. It was the first time in years that we've had the entire park available for the show, and it was really very nice. I also, in the same vein, I want to congratulate Arts Rock and the Parks Conservancy on a great show Tuesday night. They did a big band swing event, which had about 600 people attend. It was probably the biggest of the music in the park nights. There is one more scheduled. I don't know if they're doing a rain date on some of the ones that got rained out, but there's definitely one next Tuesday. You're all welcome to go. It's free in the park. Also, I did want to do a shout out to the water department. They had a big water main break. Andy, where was it? Over by the Nye College?
Yeah, South Island, yeah.
On South Highland, there was a major water main break, really extensive, and they were able to get it patched up and fixed up really quickly with a minimal disruption of service to people. So our deepest thanks to them for the hard work that they do. Also, wanted to let you know, 'cause it's come up at a prior meeting, there was a petition that was circulated, a discussion that's had about putting a pedestrian signal and a crosswalk at 9W and High Avenue, right near the entrance to the thruway. That's not a village road, so the village doesn't maintain it. That's under the auspices of the Department of Transportation. We've done it before. We then revisited and went back to our Assembly member Patrick Carroll. We got a message back this week from Senior Advisor Dan Johnson, who said that DOT has agreed to the installation of a pedestrian signal and crosswalk at the intersection. That's the good news. The bad news, it won't be up for a while. It's gonna be a year or two before it gets done. It's now in the hopper to be done as part of their process, but it's gonna take a while to get done, but it will be done eventually, which is good news. Does anybody from the board have anything they want to, any particular message that they want to convey?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank the DPW for the efforts that they're making on power washing the sidewalks on Main Street. It looks really good, and hopefully they'll continue on the other side, and maybe Andy, maybe Broadway. Maybe. Anyway. Thanks for the hard work. And also, you forgot to mention, Joe, we have a new garbage truck.
Oh my gosh, yes, I forgot about the new garbage truck. Yeah, I got a lot of, put it up online, got a lot of attention to that. Yes, we have a new garbage truck. We retired the garbage truck, which was about 25 years old. So it was ready for retirement. That's about 100 years in human years, for a garbage truck. They age about 4 years every year. So really great to get a new one because we have had the old one breaking down. That's why sometimes the garbage doesn't get picked up on the day it's supposed to get picked up. So yeah, thank you. We're very proud of the new garbage truck. Anybody have anything else? Yes, good.
All right, so I actually got a phone call right before I got here, so I am just trying to look up the information, so, Andy, I might need your help on this one. A parent just called me in regards to the backpack event that happens right before school.
Yeah.
Just wanted, to find out when that's happening. Pascal just told me it's happening, it's the same day as the parade.
Yes, the San Diego Parade, August, is it the 23rd, August
So
23rd.
that's Saturday, August 23rd. And anybody that is interested in donating to that cause, please connect with Louise Parker. In addition to that, Nyack School District is having the Red Hawk Ready Fest on the following day at McCollum Field from 3 to 6. Andy, I will share this with you if you want to just, I don't know if you want to share it with the public, but this was asked for me to
Yeah.
to share because they wanted to know. Okay, so all the people that are interested in the information about the upcoming things that are happening within the next month or so, the back to school event will happen with the African American Parade on the 24th. In addition to the school district is having their first annual Red Hawk Ready Fest, and that is the Sunday, August 24th.
All right. I also want to make a note. I was congratulating people on some of the events. We had a great street fair a week ago. I see some people from the Chamber of Commerce. Roger Cohen wants to thank Roger and congratulate him. Was that one of yours or was that yeah, but you're involved with the cadence, so you can take the secondary credit for it. Great street fair. There's another one on October or September. When's the next one? September 7th is the next one. So yeah, we got a month off before we get back to street fairs, but and thanks to the DPW for the work that they do, and thanks to the Chamber and for Ikeda for the work they do on the street fairs. Okay. we have a lot of things to cover. We do have an opening for public comments on any topic that's not on the agenda. So if the topic is on the agenda, we try to get public comment connected to the actual agenda item. So we'll bring up public comment when we get to the public hearings. We'll have public comment then, or for any of the agenda items if anybody wants to talk about them. But I'll allow for public comment on any option. I know Barbara, you signed up, you were here early, so let Barbara Noyes from the Penguin Plunge come on up, and you want to talk about the Penguin Plunge for a moment.
I do. I'm doing this.
Yeah, take the mic, because no one can, it's really loud behind us.
Probably.
I think it was on. Everyone picks it up and turns it on.
No, it's not, right?
Yeah, now it's on, now it's on.
Okay, so it sounds like Memorial Park has so many fabulous things going on. 4th of July was awesome. Thank you so much. That there were amazing fireworks and fireworks I've never seen. But in March, we know that there was the Penguin Plunge. And I wanted to always thank you because without the Village of Nyack behind us, there would be no Penguin Plunge. And there'd be families that would be left struggling with insane medical bills and the loneliness that comes from having a sick child. When we did give the money out to the families that we helped, and there were 3 families this year, we gave each family $42,250. So I thank you, because it's not us, it's the community that gives us the money to do that. But one of the dads said to me, if I wasn't here, we'd just be home alone. So it's people showing up that day, obviously people jumping in is a lot of fun for them. I asked the one girl who was 12, I said, wow, how was it to see people jump in for you? She's like, that is so cool. And next year she wants to jump on Jack Lizzie's truck and we'll do their Santa Claus parade. So it's just wonderful because the families feel appreciated and they want to give it back. And again, we couldn't do it without you. And I know that we all want to twin like I am tonight. So we just have some shirts that
Oh,
like.
I love the shirts. I look forward to this every year, the year that we get the shirts.
Thank you so
The, once you give them to Andy, I want you to hand them out to us,
later. Yes.
yeah, thank you, and thank you for the work you do. You're thanking us for giving you access to the park, but I mean, this event takes a lot of work and you and your husband do an amazing job and it's really remarkable for a great cause. Thank you for including us in it. We're a very small part of what is a very large event and we're very proud for the small part that we play. So thank you. Thank you very much.
You're 19 March 1st. Thank you so much.
And I'll be jumping in again next year, hopefully.
Oh, I'm
If
kind
I
of.
make it, yeah, that's 2 years in a row I've done it, which this year was very tough.
Yes,
This year was very cool.
it's like a triple crown.
Okay, I'll take that. Anybody else for public comments on issue that's not on the agenda? Thank you very much, Barbara.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's get to the minutes of June 26th. Any, can I get that on the table?
Motion.
Second. Any additions, comments, questions on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye, motion passes, the minutes are adopted. It's time for a presentation. Thomas, why don't you get set up? I'll just give a quick preamble on this. A couple of years ago, when we passed a hotel tax, which generates about $250,000 a year now, we made a sort of an arrangement with the hotels themselves that about half the money from the hotel tax would go toward promoting tourism in the village. And one of the ways that we do that, not the only way, but one of the major ways that we do that is we started what we call the Nyack Tourism Grants, that we give grants to local organizations and local causes that are doing events that will promote tourism in the village. The grants are administered twice a year. They're administered through Thomas Schneck and Visit Nyack, who handles all the administration and handles the distribution of money and whatnot. The money is only used for marketing. It's not used for any operational. They have to pay for their own operational details. And we've managed to fund a lot of great events throughout the village, and we're about to pass on, he's going to present the funding suggestions that were made by the Nyack Business Council after reviewing applications and then meeting with a lot of the applicants. And he's going to talk about what those grants are, those proposed grants are today.
Very good. Thanks so much. So again, my name is Thomas Schneck, president of Visit Nyack, and I just want to give you a quick overview of the different grant proposals that we have. I will talk a little bit about each of them, but just an overview here. You can see the different names and the different events. This is our round 5, so this has something been going on for 2.5 years. And here's the second page. In total, we're suggesting to grant $38,000. Then we go now into the individual events. This is from Acor. Acor obviously is a known entity, but this is the first time that they submitted an application. They will have a fundraiser on December 6th, but what's really the unique part is that they're gonna have performance by award-winning dancers Art Richmond and Mine Packer. So they're known entities in the dance world, and they wanna have this at the Nike Center. They expect about 300 people, and we would propose to support this with $2,000 because we'll bring in people from outside of Nyack to see especially the dance performance. Second application came in from Arts Rock. Obviously, one of our premier event organizers. They're going to continue with their programming in the fall with all kinds of different events. You can see here, some of them going to be at the Ancient Nyack, some of them will be in other locations. So it's a really broad spectrum of different things. And again, they do a really good job promoting them. They expect over 600 people to come to all these different events. Now, here is a proposal is to support them with $3,500. Carolyn Doyle, she received grants in the past already. She's a big dance proponent, especially when it comes to salsa. This November, she wants to do a social dance workshop, which will be featured around salsa and dance in general. We'll bring in different instructors, also from Westchester, to other parts in the region here. It's going to be at Hotel Nyack, and she expects over 300 people to participate. And our proposal is to support them with $1,500. Then this is a new application from obviously a well-known organization which does really important work, the Center for Safety and Change. They have an event which they've been doing for a while, which is called She Is. It's a transformative arts and healing experience. It's scheduled to be end of March or end of April. It's going to be held at the X House. And the idea is to bring people, especially women, survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and trafficking, together so they can share their stories and really, be part of that healing process. And we think this is an important, obviously very important event. It can also attract people not just from Nyack and Rockland, but even from outside of our county. And therefore, we're proposing to support this, expect over 100 people, and we're proposing to support this with $2,000. Then Children's Shakespeare Theater, also obviously a known entity. It was the first time that they submitted an application. They want to do something what's called the Shakespeare Family Day. It's going to be held this year, end of September, on one day. It's a 4-hour festival. It really sounds like a lot of fun. It's going to have food, performances. We're going to have all kinds of different stations there where you can interact with the actors and actresses. And they're even going to perform short scenes from Shakespeare. They expect over 150 people, and it's going to be held at Roca, and we propose to support that with $1,500. The Elmo Playhouse, they have been receiving support for us for a while now. They have a really unique idea, and they're really executing this very well, where they have their theater performances. They bring this together with the Nyack Art Collective, and an artist from Nyack Art Collective can bring in their art. Especially when there's opening night, people can actually see what this art looks like. And so it's a great way to promote art in general in Nyack. People find that basically the theater. Our idea is to continue to support this initiative, and it's really getting a lot of good reception with $2,000, and it's going to cover the whole 25-26 season. Then Hope Braid, obviously we know Hope. She runs a beautiful business here in Nyack, but also is a very accomplished fashion designer. She's also the power behind the Rockland Fashion Week. And she wants to extend that with this concept of pop-up shops. She did this already last year. And the idea is to connect basically the Rockland Fashion Week, which is happening at the Palisades Mall, with the Nyack downtown businesses. The idea that Nyack downtown businesses can promote specials, which they have. And those specials will be then publicized at the Rockland Fashion Week itself. And then people hopefully come from the Palisades Mall over to downtown Nyack, and our small business here in Nyack can benefit from that as well. And we want to support that initiative with $500. Then a new initiative which comes from the Hudson Valley Mural Arts organization, and it is centered around the Nyack murals, which we're going to have soon here in Nyack. And the idea is that in the spring of 2026, we're going to have 2 murals already installed. And the idea is that we use those 2 installations and promote flyers, the videos, the social media, this to general public, not just in Nyack, but also obviously in other areas around Rockland and in neighboring counties. And make that basically prelude to installing 2 more murals then, which then should come hopefully later that year. And we think it's a great idea to kickstart the whole mural initiative here in Nyack, and therefore the idea is to support that with $2,000. And Laura Graham, she has been the power with some friends and other colleagues had the Nyack second-hand shop hop. She did already 7 hops in 2023 and 24. There have been a lot of hops going on in 25, and she wants to continue that in 26. We think it's a great way to promote vintage Nyack, as this is a big theme for tourism in general. We have currently 5 businesses who are participating. We also have some food and beverage businesses who also support them with that. We want to continue to support this initiative, and therefore the idea is to continue that with $800, which basically covers the next 6 months of their office. Then we have Long Path Outfitters. Many of you know Laura, she is behind that business, and she had this idea about 1.5 years ago of the hike Nyack experience, which makes a lot of sense because Nyack, obviously with Cook Mountains and so many other hikes which you see here on the map, this is something we want to promote. It's very unique to Nyack as a destination, and she did a really good job launching this initiative 1.5 years ago, and she wants to build on that. She wants to upgrade the landing page. She wants to put more content there so we're more easily findable. She wants to create more blog posts. She wants to reprint those maps many of you already have seen, and also combine it with a digital ad campaign just to make sure that we really found that people in the Tri-State area are looking for a nice hike destination. The idea is to support that with $3,500 this initiative. Then a new application, many of you probably have seen them already in town. That's Nyack Flower Market, which has been going on for a while now. I think which was really well received. It's a twice-monthly event from April to November. It's all about featuring flowers, perennials, non-central boutiques, ceilings, and we all thought this is a great idea. And it's a good addition to what we're already offering, and we want to support and continue that promotional event with $2,000. Then Music for Life, Jeffrey Friedberg, he has been doing this Music for Life night outs already twice. One was last fall, and there's one in the spring already, and he wants to continue that with a fall 25 and spring 26 event. It's a 2-hour variety show, which is really driven by the neurodiverse community he's working with. It's a wonderful event, but it also brings a lot of people, not just from Rockland, but also from Westchester and Berry County here into Nyack. And he also works out special arrangement with restaurants, people before or after the show can have dinner or a late lunch. And we want to support that, as this is really a very important initiative for us, with another $1,500 that we continue with those events. Then the Nyack Art Collective is something we have been promoting for a while now with their First Fridays. Many of you probably have already experienced that. It's currently held at the Bergaloff. It really features local artists, shows their work, and we think it's a great idea. It's a continuation and happens every month. So we want to continue with that with $1,500 so prepare them into the end of the year. Then the Nyack Chamber of Commerce for the first time submitted an application, and basically the idea is that we help them with promoting their signature events, one being the Halloween parade and one is the Exotic Car Night, which will happen in August. And the idea is to support both of these great events with $2,500. Then the Nyack International Film Festival has an expansion. They obviously do their big one typically end of March and in April, but for last year now, and again, they're adding some special film festivals. One is the Nyack Drone and Phone Festival. The other one is the Nyack Sci-Fi Supernatural Horror Film Festival. And they're great new, basically spin-offs of the main event. And the idea is that we want to support them. One is scheduled for August 23rd, and the other one, which will happen right around Halloween. And the idea is to support them $3,000 to really get the word out in those events. Birmingham Film, this is something we also have supported in the past. This time we want to support the outdoor film. They've scheduled something in Memorial Park, August 15th. It's going to be the film Piece by Piece by Pharrell Williams. And They want to work together, all the workshop, the Main Street Beat, to really ensure that also small business benefit from the event. This is going to be in Memorial Park. And there will be a second movie they want to show. It's called Married to the Mob, which was done by Jonathan Demi. And that's scheduled for December 17th at the Nike Center. What's cool about that is they're going to be bringing Chris Sia, who was the film's production designer back in the day. So they expect also a big crowd for that. We want to support those two showings with $2,000. And then the Rock Shop, they have been doing this concert series now for a while, and whenever you go there, you see it's a full house when they do that. It's really featuring all their local musicians and students and kids. They bring their parents and hopefully a lot of people from outside. So we want to support that. They typically bring in about 500 people per event. We want to support them with $500 so they can continue with that all the way into spring. So these were all the new ones we received. And then what we also did is we had already communicated by the end of round 4 that we earmarked some grants or some amounts for those organizations. We couldn't fund more, only limited funds. But we also said, if you show good progress, we're gonna and maybe give you some additional funds. And then we check with these different organizations if they are on a good path and really executing on their plan. And so we want to propose to give them some more additional funds so they can continue for the remainder of this year. So one is Ecstatic Dance, who does a wonderful job every month to bring in people from all over basically the Tri-State area for their dance event. The idea is to continue to support them with another $1,200. We have the Everett Opera House. We knew already that the event, Main Air Festival, will only happen in October, but we saw some good progress in how they put the whole event together. We want to give them another $500 to really get a good promotional touch together to really promote all these different things they have planned then for the festival itself, which will happen in October. Same with Modern Druid. That's an event we knew already back when we decided in January for the first grant that we might want to give them some more money so they can really push out the message then from second half of the year. They've done some good progress. They brought a lot of good vendors already together for this event, and we're suggesting to promote them or give them another $500 for their event, the Spirit of Sobro. The Rockland County Jazz and Blues Society, they have the Nyack Jazz Week, which is scheduled for September 27th, 21 and 27. It's a week-long jazz event. They also have now booked the headliners. It all looks good, and we're proposing to them another $500 to really help them with the promotion. Similar with the Rockland Pride Center, they're executing very well on their program. They obviously have the Pride Day, but they have ongoing programming throughout the week. We want to make sure that they have enough money to get the message out. So we want to propose another $1,500 to support their efforts. And last but not least, Trade and Prosper, that's Louise Newsom's organization. She's proposing that's called the Nyack Village Craft Walk, which will happen in October. And what you saw is that she already has over 70 vendors now, which will be on the upper lawn of Memorial Park and then has Vista Park. So she's making really good progress getting the vendors together. She will combine this with brick and mortar stores and bars, which we have here in Nyack. So it really shapes up to be a real great event. It's a very high goal of 10,000 people. In order to get the message out, proposing to give her another. That's in a nutshell the proposal before this round 5 grants.
Thank you, Thomas. Why don't you stay up and let's take on, can I get, we skipped to resolution, to action item 7.6, resolution 25-122. Can I get that on the table? That's to approve the grants under the Nyack Hotel Tax Tourism Grant Program. Can you hear me?
Second.
Okay, so let's discuss it. Maybe have any questions or comments? Thank you, Thomas, for the presentation, for all the work you do, because it's a lot of work soliciting the grants and managing them and communicating with them and setting up the meetings that we have. So it's very much appreciate everything that you do on this. Any comments or questions about the individual grant items?
One question I have for the Arts Rock grant, you said it's in multiple locations. Are they all in Nyack?
They're all in Nyack.
They're all in Nyack.
It's like either the old high school or a nice.
Oh. And other events that we have which, I see there's a lot, like, the street fairs I see and the jazz festival. Are there any opportunities for, which ones are the free events? Which ones are events that maybe there can be scholarships available to folks to go?
So,
Yeah, you can go through them, and show which ones are free.
so of the free events, I would say it's, we mentioned the Shakespeare Family Day, this is a free event.
Which one?
Shakespeare,
Children Shakespeare.
The mural arts.
Moral arts, Hope Great. Laura Graham. The Longhead Outfitters like Nyack, the Flower Market. Night Out. I think
Night
that's
Out's
small.
a paid, there's a,
Nine Art Collective is free.
Yep.
The Nine Chamber of Commerce is free. Film Festival.
no, that's a ticketed item.
Yeah.
Rivertown Films, it's a ticketed item, but not the outdoor movie is free.
And the Rock Show is ticketed as well. But I also want to say, and I know that when we talk to any of the organizers, if there's anybody who wants to get in and has, just tell the organizers or ask me, and I'm gonna have to talk to them. They always say, yeah, absolutely, inform people.
Okay.
And just for the record, the carryover events, Ecstatic Dance, I think is a paid event, it's a paid event, but the Plein Air Festival is free, Modern Druids event is free. Jazz and Blues Society is free, at least the outdoor event is. Pride Center, most of their events are free, and the Craft Walk is free for participants.
Probably 70% free.
Yeah, and then, the Long Path Outfitters, there's no event around that.
No, it's to promote hiking basically, and to promote all the different resources we
I
have.
think Boeing does sometimes some scheduled hiking.
Okay,
Or has hike guides also.
yeah,
So if somebody wants to do that, we can definitely organize it.
okay, thank you.
Is there anything else? All in favor of the resolution?
Bye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Thomas, for all
I
the
would,
work on that.
another one thing, you all, Rosita, and state, thank Joe is the head of the business council, also for pushing the process. And it's a super important initiative, this project, all the support, thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Now, can we just take the screen down, because I know people are gonna wanna set up the News 12. All right, let's get to our action items. Remember that we will take public comment on individual action items as we get to them. We will do our normal action items first. We will then get to the public hearings, which cannot start until after 8 o'clock. We're now after 8 o'clock, so we can start them, but we want to get through the agenda. Some people are here for issues that will take a few minutes to resolve before we get to the two big public hearings. So can I go to 7.1, resolution 25-117, accepting the audited voucher summary? Can I get on the table?
Motion, second.
Any comments or questions?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.2, a resolution to approve a permit application for youth gospel concert in Memorial Park. That's resolution 25-118. Can I get on the table?
Second,
Any comments or questions? Is anybody here from Berea? Wants to address it? Okay, no comments or questions. All in favor?
aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.3, resolution 25-119, a resolution to approve a permit application for a children's bike safety event in Memorial Park by the Nyack YMCA. Can I get on the table?
Second,
Any comments or questions or public comment on this issue? No, he's just coming up now. Any comments? Any questions?
straightforward. On like bike safety, yeah.
Bike safety,
Okay.
yeah, it's a bike safety, they're gonna use the area they're doing it, it's this Saturday, so it's coming up, this is a resolution late in the day. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.4, resolution 25-120, to award a 2025 sidewalk and curb improvement contract to Terra Firma Contracting. Can I get on the table?
Motion.
Second.
Andy, tell us a little bit about this.
This is CDBG money. The contract is to repair or install sidewalks on the north end of the village, Dunwoody, Jefferson, Marion, First Ave, parts of Third Ave, parts of North Franklin Street.
Can you just explain to everybody what CDBG is?
Oh, sorry, it's the Community Development Block Grant money. It comes from the federal government. We're hoping it continues. In the future.
Do we actually have the money in our bank
Yeah,
account?
this one seems to be locked in.
Okay, good.
Does this include that infamous, curve on, Third and, Marion? The one that has the water
There's a
issues?
gentleman who comes and talks with Franklin about that.
Yes.
And yeah, the engineers have plans for that side.
That's gonna be in this topic.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Have the neighbors been notified? Has everyone?
I talked to him.
Well, I meant like, not just him, but everyone who might have some improvements done, have they all been notified? Or,
Yeah, we don't do like a house to house
oh,
consultation.
no, I meant in terms of like, they know that someone is coming to to work in.
I would guess so, but they'll definitely know when the trucks show up.
We don't generally, for improvements on the street, we don't generally give, I mean, the one time it's come up is when we do it on Main Street and Broadway. We
Right.
usually give notice because it might be disruptive to the business,
Yeah,
but
that's more why I was asking.
yeah, it's not for the individual residents, like it just, that we improve the sidewalks, they're generally happy.
Yeah, there is, there's always a process of talking with people when there's something needs to be sorted out. And for example, if there's a connection to a pathway and then needs a step or whatever, these couple of things come up.
Okay.
For sure.
Any comments or questions? All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. 7.5, resolution 25-121 to improve Alicio Rivera Taco Boy's application for food truck permit for 2025. Can I get this on the table?
Motion second.
We're somewhat late in the day to start getting applications for the summer of 2025, but better late than never.
Yeah, honestly, it's a little bit of an afterthought. He's had his insurance to us for a while. And I just thought it'd be nice to kind of formally give this permit.
Was anyone?
Last year, the board basically said, Andy, we don't want to vote on these things, just lie on food trucks since none of them doesn't make sense. And I remember that after I worked on this agenda, saying it. But we probably don't need you to vote on food truck permits unless you, but you know, I also want you to know that we're doing it. And if you have any concerns about it, if you want to talk about it. It's a good time, you know.
Any comments or questions?
Yeah, I just wanna make a note, I did, inform you guys about problems with one of the food trucks, the noise, and, are we incorporating the noise ordinance in the, permit?
Yes, and you were right. This village code does say they can't use noise or music to attract customers, and that is very typical of the ice cream truck.
Right,
It can be pretty loud.
I didn't wanna mention them.
And well, that's the only one. I mean, everybody knows ice cream truck for that song. And so I've spoken with the guy and who's doing, we'll pull his permit and he can go play somewhere else.
Yeah, the point of the song is that as it drives down the street, you hear it when you're in your backyard and you can run out and buy some ice cream. If it's sitting in the park, people can see it. They don't need to play the music when they're sitting in the park.
So can I, sort of in the sense of the board that you want me to lean on hard about stationary song playing, but for roving around the village, you're okay with the sound?
I think it's, kind of missing from the summers, you know, the.
I don't mind the sound as they drive through town. It's cute.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of,
So
I
it's-
think this is a little
It's
overkill.
the stationary, the stationary.
That's valuable nuance, so
Okay.
that's on our approach.
It's-
But also the volume should be, respectful of the neighborhoods.
Yeah,
Yeah, why is the news 12 covering this? This is a really, the food truck. The song on the ice cream truck is a really, this is a universal item. This should be front page news. Any other comments or questions? All right, with that little nuance understood, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. We did 7.6. 7.7, resolution 25-123, approving a memorandum of agreement with the IBEW regarding a labor contract term of June 1, 25 to May 31, 2028. Can I get this on the table?
Motion second.
Andy, give us the lowdown.
first of all, the basic terms of this agreement were reviewed by the village board before the union ratified it for themselves in their union meeting. And so this document is essentially the same. There's some small differences, but it sets the salary increases. It's a 3-year term. It addresses questions of sick day accumulation and some other matters that are mostly economic. This is MOA. It frames the job to do going forward, which is to edit the actual labor contract. There's a fair amount of extra housekeeping kind of ready and needed on that. So we're not really done yet. But this MOA basically tells you how they're getting paid, just kind of the central item.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Any public comment? All right, all in favor? Motion carries unanimously. 7.8, resolution 25-124 pertaining to the repaving of streets in West Nyack after the completion of water main replacement. Can I get that on the table?
Second.
What's this about? Just quickly, it's not that.
Okay, the short version of this is that when the water department does water main replacement on roads in Clarkstown, and Clarkstown is planning on paving those roads anyway, the water fund contributes a cost share to the repaving.
Okay.
Is it 50/50?
It's based on, it's not exactly 50/50, it's based on the amount of disruption that the water main construction caused.
I'll make sure that, want to make sure they're getting those things as well, because this is hot stuff. All right, so we're gonna do that cost share agreement. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Resolution 25-125 approving a application for summer basketball on Thursday nights. Can I get this on the table?
Motion.
So this is a resolution that started July 17th, so it's already been going on. This is an open call basketball. Anybody can come and play in the park being run by YMCA.
Yes,
There's no
Oh,
age restriction. Oh, well.
I waited for you to grab the mic so you can say yes, yes. If you just call it out next time. Save this, it's a long night. All right, any comments or questions? This is it's great that they're doing this. I love open stuff where you don't have to sign up, you don't have to do anything, just show up and play. And there's gonna be supervision and whatnot. All right, great. Any comments or questions? Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Resolution 25-126 approving the purchase of a mini track loader. Can I get on the table?
Second.
We're buying, what's this for, Andy?
this is kind of a multi-tool, small piece of equipment. Which can have a snow blower attachment, a little digger, hole digging attachment. Brushes, things like that for sidewalk and road maintenance, moving chips down the playground. It's kind of a all around.
It's a Bobcat, right?
It's a Bobcat, yeah.
All right. Any comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.11, resolution 25-127, approving the purchase of a barrier system. Can I get this on the table?
Motion.
Second.
Andy, these are the,
These are the Meridian barriers, which we've been borrowing from the Homeland Services, which you travel all the way to Long Island to get them. You'll see them on street fair days using blocks on the intersection with these.
instead of using dump trucks and stuff like that, it's a little bit more.
Like use those instead of putting a big dump truck across the street. Having our own set of those will enable us to make street fairs and other events more secure. To prevent an errant or malicious driver from getting through and wrecking mayhem. And also it enables us to substitute those for vehicles. And generally it helps to keep people safe.
All right.
How many sets? In other
This
words,
is-
how many streets can we walk off at the same time?
I'd have to sit down and show you a map of the various barriers that we use. It's probably roughly 4 or 5 barriers per street. So this is a set of 16, so you're looking at, 4 or so. Streets that can be covered by this set of barriers. It'll be 16 barriers with 1 trailer that can carry 8. And so we deliver them with a trailer, drop them off, go back at the next set.
So are we getting 2 carriers?
We're getting 16 barriers and 1 trailer.
Oh, really? I looked at the, it seemed like we were getting 2.
There's 2 of these little devices. It's kind of like a hand truck that you can use to move the barriers.
Okay,
That's not the van
That's all.
or whatever the
okay.
trailer.
Yeah, it's a little hand doll. It's a doll, yeah, I guess.
How much does it normally cost to rent them from?
You get them free for the cost of right, yeah, and they're not always available. Sometimes it's nice, they kind of forget we have them for a while and we do like a couple of events. But then they want them back and then we're stuck with them.
If need be, can we still, after we use these, can we still borrow?
Yes, we'll continue to ask for it. And Jonathan does a great job running DPW with his fee schedules and reserves these this equipment for the whole season, prioritizing certain events like the street fairs and others where we need them. And so as long as they're going to give them to us, we'll keep using them, we'll just add them to our supply.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.12, resolution 25-128, involving, a grant application for the waterfront park. Can I get on the table?
Second.
Give us a quick lowdown, Andy.
This is a grant that would help pay for shoreline stabilization improvements in the inlet where the pedestrian bridge crosses. Out around, there's a boat launch where if you look carefully, you'll see that the river is kind of washing away some of our river rapids, other erosion issues.
And it's just a grant application at this point. We're just applying for it.
Yes.
Okay. Any comments or questions? All in favor of the grant application?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.13, resolution 25-129, approving the purchase of a truck. Can I get on the table?
Motion, second.
And you can tell me, this isn't just any truck, Joe. This is a super duper strobe light truck.
It's a large pickup truck with a plow on it, which is replacing a rickety old one, which is running off the repair bill space, and it's the end of its lifetime.
You'll notice we have a number of these acquisition items because we talked about it several months ago that we had a surplus that we'd run from some very conservative budgeting, and we put the money into some long overdue maintenance vehicles and things like that, which is why we have the new dump truck the new garbage truck we talked about today, and some of the other items on this agenda, the Meridian barriers, this one, I think the Bobcat, those were all part of that project.
Yeah, we also did a resolution allowing us to issue debt, which is gonna pay for this truck.
Okay, this truck's from debt, okay.
So what?
This one's being paid from debt. Yeah, this isn't from the, remember we divided up the two things from the surplus or the
Part of a
debt.
bond, part of a bond.
All right, any comments or questions about the truck?
Do we get to drive it?
Can anybody drive it, or is it like at their special permit?
Then you gotta be any
I don't know what that means, so I'm already.
a motor equipment operator.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm definitely not approved for that. I barely have a driver's license. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We're gonna skip 7.14, that's subject to the public hearing. Skip 7.15, subject to the public hearing. 7.16, resolution 25-132 to declare a surplus and authorize the auction of a 2012 parking authority vehicle. Can I get on the table?
Second.
Any comments or questions? We're selling a truck.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.17, resolution 25-133 approving a food truck permit for an ice cream truck. We talked about earlier. Can I get on the table?
Motion, second.
With the proviso of the nuance we talked about earlier, any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. 7.18, resolution 25-134.
I'm gonna suggest that you skip this one because we don't have the final list of names for the additional members.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna skip for next month, Okay. And we're gonna skip 7.19 because we don't have the name for that either, so 7.18, 7.19.
Okay,
You wanna just do it and do a representative to be named to approve at the next meeting? You wanna get started? Where is she? Where's Chris? There you
I
are.
mean, if it's possible, if we know it's gonna be people happy or.
okay.
We can approve another name next time. We can approve the rest of the names today.
Actually, I don't have the names in front of me.
Okay.
I
Do
do.
you have them, Chris?
Yes.
Could you read the list up?
Chris, come on.
I just wanna, I think we should get this process going because the grant, because the application is going to be, the deadline. I just wanna make sure that this group is kind of up and running and I wanna,
I think that's fair. Why don't you read the names into the record
Okay. So.
for the people that are being approved tonight?
Okay, people are being approved tonight. Make sure I have this right.
We already appointed you and Bill Bass.
Okay. Okay, so we have, myself, Bill Batson, Lauren Randolph, Art Gunther, Herme Alexander, Amy Bezanar TS
From Main Street Beat.
for Main Street Beat. I'm so sorry I butchered her name. Dana Hartwriter, Ernst Valerie, Karina Zior, Carol Perry, the Hopper and the Hop House selection.
There's somebody who's gonna be on the council, the advisory board, who's being named to us by Hopper House, but they haven't given us the name yet.
They have a person in mind she was an educator, and someone who has a very lengthy, understanding of the appreciation of Hopper, is
Sort
sort
of
of on
order,
board.
bring this to a motion.
Oh, yeah, 'cause we stopped. Okay,
Yeah.
let's get.
Sorry, Chris.
We have to stop, because we have to make it, so you read the resolution, it's a thing, so that resolution. On action item 7.18, resolution 25-134 with the names that she mentioned, can I get that on the table?
Motion, second.
Okay, thank you, Pascal, for keeping me honest on that, all right, so, because we skipped over, because Andy said no, do it. All right, so we now have it on, those are the names,
We just, and with the reason that we felt like it was, originally it was an oversight to not have someone from the Hopper House, and it's our museum. We felt that it was really important to make sure that that was included in the conversation for all the public art. That in the vision that we're kind of making sure that we're all the same, that it has a cohesive vision, and we felt like the Hopper House really needed to be part of that conversation. And they are in the process of picking, it'll either be Kathy, the executive director, or this person who's on their board, who is an art educator. We had a certain criteria that we told them that was really important.
So it'll be one member.
So one member
Okay,
from the Hopper
okay.
House, that representing that, making sure that that legacy is continuing part of that conversation.
okay,
But everybody else in this committee are people who, whatever it is that they do in their career, what drives them is the community engagement, and that responsibility that the work they do is collaborative, and it is about building and creating community. So that was one of the main criteria for this group, and I really think we have, an urban planner, we have Dana, who's done that, for me, one of the best things that's happened tonight. We have a musician, we have business owners, we have a gallery owner. I feel like we really kind of young, old, we have really, I think it really represents the
you did a
community.
great job pulling out the names.
Yeah.
I have a question. Does this work?
Hello,
Yeah. I'm concerned that I think that we should have we should talk about public murals in the village. And I think this board should be comprised
They're all residents except for the one from the Hopper.
of the village of Nyack.
Yes,
There are.
well, I mean, I wouldn't say, I know. The village. You mean has to be Nyack proper, not Upper Nyack or South
I'm
Nyack?
talking about the village of Nyack.
Every member has to be in.
I said the majority of the members should be from the village of Nyack. That's my personal view.
That's a new criteria for me. So I wasn't told that, but I appreciate your point of view. There
Talked
are
about
many.
it last time, I did mention it last time.
You said businessmen.
No, I said residents of the village. The majority, because they, somebody from Upper Nyack or South Nyack or Central Nyack. I don't want them to be the ones who determine the criteria for public murals that'll be in the village.
just be clear, they're not determining the criteria, they have no authority to render everything that they just give us advice.
Okay.
They give us advice, we make the decisions on everything that
The
relates to,
village board makes it.
the village board makes the decisions, they are an advisory council. Just like the same way the business council is advisory.
Okay, but in general, I like to see more village of Nyack residents involved in this.
Oh, I mean, I feel like a good number of them are, but I absolutely hear what you're saying, but one of the things that we're gonna be doing is having public meetings and having auxiliary meetings in addition. This is just because there were so many criteria, making sure we had, people who work in all different mediums and all different kinds of, there's lots of things that was the
There's
charge.
certainly plenty of artists residing in the village of Nyack.
We actually, we don't know offhand, I know that, some of them definitely are, some of them I know own a business here, but they may not live here. I just don't know where everybody lives, we didn't this is all my fault because I didn't make it an essence of the criteria when I gave you the list of things to look for in people to get them. Why don't we find out, let's vote on them. We can always add more members if we feel that we're shy, some NIAC members. But we'll get the list of where everybody resides, before the next meeting.
Okay.
But we can, these people are, I think, are worthwhile members. If we have to expand it to make sure that there's a majority of NIAC residents, we can do that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, in my mind, it was not so specifically Nyack proper there, but I did make sure that everybody in my mind was either Nyack, South Nyack, or Upper Nyack. I did not say specifically Nyack, so I apologize.
We're very territorially narrowly focused here in the
Right.
village residents.
This is a new thing.
Yes, I
for me,
understand.
So,
Well, thank you.
yeah, but I
Thank you,
do,
Joe.
there's gonna be lots of opportunities for village residents to participate in this process, and that's. For me, the criteria is all these people, that's one of the things that they feel really passionate about, is in collaboration and building community, so.
But based upon what you said, Joe, then I'll
Yeah,
go for it.
we're looking at people. I mean, like Bill Batson's not a resident of the village of Nyack, but he spends all his time here, so
Yeah.
he might as well be.
I'll find out for everybody.
Yeah, we'll find out
Yeah.
next week. Any other comments or questions?
I guess one suggestion I would say is when we see the list, maybe we can see what their sufficient ties to Nyack are in terms, like, with Bill, he doesn't live here, but he runs our chamber and does all these other things, things like that.
That was supplied to Joe. Everybody has a bio,
Got it.
with all their websites and everything. We really tried to make, there were lots of passes of this, so, but I can supply.
But you gave me the preliminary list, which had a lot of people that did not, it was the candidates, not the finalists.
Right. So everybody on this, we have, all their backgrounds and why they were, why we considered them for the committee. So I can give you the process.
Okay, yeah, we'll get that as well. Good for the people that are in the final, that are gonna be named to it. Anything else? You good? All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much, Chris, for working on this. We are skipping 7.19, so that's not gonna be covered. All right, the only other thing I want to do before we get to the public hearings, is Katerina Osipova here? Huh?
She wouldn't be here.
She wouldn't be here. Okay, I wasn't sure, because and is anybody, is Jenny Crumpton Ross here? I don't see her. Is anybody from Kula for Karma here? I just don't want to make them wait if they're here for just their communication issue. All right. Let's do the quick one first. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing on park use, amending chapter 250 of our village code? Motion.
Second.
Public hearing is now open. We'll take public comment on the relevant resolution is at item 7.14. We're not putting the resolution on the table yet, but that's the resolution that we're gonna be discussing. This has been an issue that we've talked about in terms of managing the use of the park to make sure that it's available as much as possible, have full access to as many patrons as possible. Any public comment? We've talked about it extensively on the board. Any other board comment?
Well, I'm the liaison to the Parks Commission,
Okay,
and I'm the liaison, can you hear me?
yeah.
Liaison to the Parks Commission, and we talked about it, and they are in favor of this, correct, James?
Yeah. I mean, for the reasons that you already stated, that when we've had buses of people.
Here, come on, if you're gonna talk, might as well get on the mic.
So I'm Jim Wilcox, I'm the chairman of the Parks Commission. Historically, we've had buses of people come in. There's a lot of people and it's overwhelmed some of the resources of the park. We just don't think it's fair that buses from out of town will come in, then effectively take people who are already using, some of the amenities, especially the water pump, which has a limited capacity. So we're in favor of this local law change.
Any other public comment? Anything else from the board? All right, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion. Second.
All right, can we now go to action item 7.14, resolution 25-130, which is the resolution to manage the group use of village parks. Can I get it on the table?
Second.
Any other comment or question? This is what we just had the conversation with regard to the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Now can I get a motion to open the public hearing on the local law amending the zoning code establishing a required minimum distance between recreational cannabis dispensaries? Motion,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now open. I know we have a number of people here to make public comment on this issue. So Linda, why don't you do that? And Dennis, why don't you get ready with everybody's gonna have 2 minutes of public comment. We are going to enforce the 2-minute rule. If you're at 2 minutes, we're gonna gavel you. So, we'd like to get through this, with some efficiency. Scott, your names?
Mark?
Hi there. I'm Mark Mallow,
Hold it up to your mouth, make sure.
519 North Midland Avenue. In the last meeting, we discussed the 2,000-foot limit, and I assume tonight we're going back on.
Closer to your mouth.
I assume tonight we're going back on that promise, because there's a scary, letter written from a lawyer. I would suggest that we hold off on voting that, do the real due diligence. And put our children first. And that's what we were talking about last time. Sort of thought we got all on the same page with that, and that this 2,000 limit was going to be enforced. I'm not sure why the heel turn after one letter is received, but I think we should give it much more consideration, hold off on voting on it tonight, do a much more thorough legal and financial review of it, and move forward in the best interest of the community as we discussed and we promised in the last meeting.
Hi, Lamita Place. Good evening. On May 8th, after months of public input, the board voted 4-1 to adopt a new local law establishing a 2,000-foot buffer between all dispensaries, both recreational and medical. That decision followed months of hearing from concerned parents, residents, business owners, and community members who asked you to protect the character of our downtown and the safety of our kids. Now, just 2 months later, you're considering reversing that decision by claiming the distance restrictions cannot apply to medical dispensaries, conveniently opening the door for a recreational dispensary in our downtown. This is despite the fact that the planning board has rejected your proposed laws twice, and over 1,000 concerned community members and 30+ downtown business owners have made it clear that dispensaries do not belong and are not wanted in our downtown. From the beginning, our petition and our requests have never been about prohibition. They've always been about responsible placement and ensuring that local laws reflect the unique needs of our community. The state's minimum distance requirements are simply not strong enough to protect our village or our youth from the negative impacts dispensaries can bring. It's disheartening and frankly insulting to see this board consider rolling back a law because one business didn't get its way, and even more so when that business hasn't yet received village approval. It's also hard to ignore how legal advice needs to consistently serve the mayor's long-standing agenda. The fact that Dennis, who works for the mayor, now claims he can't apply distance restrictions to medical dispensaries raises real questions about why this is suddenly back on the table. Feels like this threat of a potential lawsuit is being used as an excuse to advance an agenda that the mayor has been wanting for years. After 3 shootings in the past 12 months, ongoing complaints about open drug use, excessive panhandling, and growing concerns over public safety, do we honestly believe that bringing more substances into downtown is what Nyack and our kids need right now? We are clearly already facing serious issues that remain unresolved. I've met with many of you personally over the past 6 months, and I genuinely like and respect you, which makes this all the more disappointing. I truly believe that you care about this community and its people. But you were elected to represent this village, not one business and not the personal agenda. We're asking for one more time that you stand with your community. Listen, the ladies on the murals went on for
Everybody
like
gets
5
2 minutes.
minutes.
That wasn't a public comment on the public comment on the public hearing. Give you 2 minutes. Next.
Dominic Villa. So
Village Board of Trustees should not vote on this tonight. Planning Board rejected your proposed law twice now, and it's gone as far as saying it doesn't want dispensaries. It's recommending no dispensaries in DM1 and DM2. So they didn't review, they rejected the law flat. Communal kitchen lawsuit grant is not valid. Dennis Lynch wrote a 5-page letter thoroughly explaining why that threat is meaningless. Sent it to Dennis today. I hope he shared it with everyone. Based on that alone, you should all read that letter and understand it. And based on that alone, you should not be voting tonight. You guys have a tolling agreement in place. You rush to do that, to do due diligence. So do the due diligence. Dennis Lynch's letter explains why that threat is meaningless. You said, Mayor, last meeting, that you believe that communal kitchen threat and lawsuit was correct. It's flat out wrong. The Village Board of Trustees has not explained the flaw in the law. Right? So we passed the law on May 8th. The presumption is that that law is valid and constitutional. So it's in place today. You have to explain thoroughly why that law is not valid, and you haven't done that. So you have time to do that. Don't vote on it tonight. Do your due diligence. You have new regulations that came down June 27th. Have you read those regulations on cannabis and how they apply to the laws? Have any of you looked at that? So that alone, you shouldn't be voting on this tonight. The Village Board of Trustees owes the community a report on why that local law that you voted into law, that is presumed to be valid and constitutional, is not valid, and why you would need to change it tonight.
Suzanne. Oh, okay. David?
So I'm on Birch Street too. Keep hearing a lot about how a business that hasn't even opened up yet is going to somehow cause some sort of harm or danger to our children. It's a retail establishment. It's gonna have retail hours. It's going to be very tightly regulated. And I really haven't ever heard anybody connect any sort of dots between harm to a children and cannabis dispensary. People like to talk about shootings, crime, drug activity, and you know what? I know that stuff is there. It's right down the street from my house at the marina. That's where the kids are in danger. It was right across the creek from them, right across the convenient pedestrian bridge. You got the park, playground. You've got kids that are out in that basketball court until all hours. I set up a camera to look out at my driveway. It also sees the stop sign at the end of Birch Street. I can show you hours and hours and hours of people running a stop sign over and over again, police officers included. That's where the danger to your children is. And that stop sign that everybody ignores. What's it gonna take? Somebody actually getting hit by a car before we start to tighten up enforcement there? There are real problems here. And stopping a cannabis dispensary from opening is not gonna solve it. I hear the term recreational thrown around a lot. I prefer adult use because people aren't doing it for recreation. People are doing it to manage pain and to manage medical conditions that they know they have and that they know cannabis can be effective for. And they don't need guidance from doctors anymore to tell them how to use cannabis effectively to manage their medical conditions and their pain and whatever else they want to manage. It's adult people doing adult things in an adult place that's regulated by adults. And if that's scary to you for your kids, well, I'm sorry. You need to have a conversation with your kids about what adults do. All right?
Thank you.
Tina?
Yes.
Before you start the clock, Mr. Michaels, can I just make a quick comment? I was at the Upper Nile.
You want to make a comment before you make a comment?
A pre-comment.
It's very meta, but go ahead.
I appreciate it. Just more of a general thing. I was at the Upper Nile Planning Board meeting last night. We had 200 people there, and even they allowed us more than 2 minutes to make some sort of public comment. I think there's maybe 30 people in this room, so I understand we're limited on time and it's a long night, but I think people just want to express their opinions a little bit too, so I won't need any more time, but let's go ahead.
Good.
My name is Kenon, Jewett Road, 207 Jewett Road. I grew up in Nyack, graduated from Nyack High School. I think I'm representing a much younger cohort than is probably normally seen at these meetings as well. I also want to echo some prior sentiments to try to push any sort of vote on this resolution. I personally believe that many in the village and in the surrounding areas that frequent downtown Nyack really don't know what is being proposed and the implications of everything, especially when I talk to people my age, they just are completely oblivious and unaware of the dealings of this board and what's being weighed. So I would encourage a little more projection of some thoughts and ideas and what you guys see as plans. And I already attended the planning board meeting last time. I'm not gonna get into some of the legal critiques that I have. They're already in the record for anyone to go back and look at, but I still stand strongly against any sort of vote on a resolution to lessen the distance that was previously voted on. And again, like I had previously iterated, I would again ask the board to take their time and weighing any sort of reversal that they're gonna vote on. And really, again, do their due diligence. And not go back on some of the thoughts and the positions that they already taken. And I'll yield for the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello, hi, Sean Hoontalk to 118 Piermont Avenue. So I dropped by just to share my thoughts as someone who's the economic engine that we're trying to attract to Main Street, seeing as I live in South Nyack. I'm part of the business that they want to be there, that we all want to be there and see Main Street thrive on. I just encourage gradual, responsible growth by our dispensaries. And I turned up to a previous meeting on this issue and I thought it was resolved, and it seems like going from 1 to 3 is a lot more than going from 1 to 2. I don't see a change in the information that's happened other than hearing about this letter that's been sent. So that sounds like it would argue in favor of actually understanding if we're exposed or not, if we need to change the law. And then other than that, I'd just like to thank someone for speaking out in favor of the dispensaries. That's the first public voice I've heard here other than board members. And I just ask you to, weigh the preponderance of the votes and voices you've heard. So I heard there's a petition with over 1,000 votes. Here we have one voice. I think the way it's going to play out tonight, it's like every other night, is it's going to be like a 9-to-1 or 8-to-1 ratio in favor of that gradual responsible growth. Thank you very much.
Well, it's gotta be more.
Cal's at the end. Cal.
Cal.
It's at the bottom of the thing.
Good evening. Calto, I am president. New York State says towns, cities, and villages are permitted to pass local laws and regulations governing the time, place, and manner of adult use, retail dispensaries, and on-site consumption licenses. I'm gonna be quick. This provision allows villages like ourselves to address their unique community needs, particularly in youth-centered, family-friendly downtown areas like ours. Our downtown is the heart of our community, and your decision tonight will shape its character for generations to come. So I just ask, we're all friends, we're all community, your community, we're a community on this side too. Let's find a compromise. If we can't really find a solution, let's just find a compromise. But I think we all you know, we all want a great Nyack. We all want a great Main Street. And, I think a compromise or a solution is plausible that makes everyone walk away feeling, good. So that's my request.
Thank you, Cal. I'll take any other public comment. I know if you didn't sign up, you can come up, state your name.
I am Merrill Hirsch, I live at 215 Jewett. Might be student microphone, 215 Jewett Road. I have two sons that went through, two 26-year-olds who went through the Nyack schools. People who are worried about their kids in Nyack. There are plenty of drugs for the kids in Nyack now. And you have to be aware of what's going on for your kids walking around Nyack and in the schools of Nyack. But an adult use cannabis dispensary will not add to that at all. My one son lived in Boulder for 4 years. There, adult use all over the place in Boulder and in other places in Colorado. They are very strict on who they let in. They're very strict on who they sell to. That is exactly what it would be here. I mean, people will go in there, want to get something to sleep, mostly. And we have bars all over the place. I worked in Erie on Main Street in Nyack for like 4 years. We would come in the morning and they would be vomit right by the door that we would have to clean up because of the bars and people being out in the bars in Nyack. And who do you think has to clean that up in the morning when we would come into the store? I mean, a cannabis dispensary, a legal cannabis dispensary will not have any effect on our kids. And we will still have a very family-friendly village here.
Thank you. Any other public comments before we close the public hearing? Yeah, please come on.
Yes, I'm Roger Hirsch, also 215 Jewett Road. And what I would urge you to do in considering this is to take a look at towns, and I'm thinking particularly of Great Barrington, Massachusetts, which is perhaps somewhat bigger than Nyack's, but fairly comparable in size. I believe they have 5 legal adult use cannabis dispensaries. And it's a town that isn't plagued by those dispensaries. And again, clarifying what my wife just said, if you know anything about the way these are set up, they're essentially far stricter than places that are legally allowed to sell alcohol to people over 21 years old. When you approach a legal dispensary, you have to approach with legal ID. There's usually a intimidating, rather burly individual at the door, looking at your ID and making sure you are who you are and the age you say you are before you're even let into the building. I don't think that people are going to be going into these places and buying things to sell to children in the Nyacks. As she also pointed out, we have a problem with illegal drugs and have had for a long time, as I'm sure everybody knows. And this idea of adult use cannabis dispensaries has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with that. That's all I would consider.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on.
Suggest that we can pause the public comment, but don't close the public hearing. Have a discussion first, because oftentimes questions may arise.
Okay, before we get to the resolution.
Yeah, after the public comment, it appears to be completed,
We
just,
can have a
just
conversation.
with the public comment, have a discussion with themselves, just leave open the possibility that there may be someone else that you want to hear from or ask a question.
Okay,
Thank you.
Good evening, Kevin Sheehan. I am a resident of the village of Diane. While it's while it's enticing to try to rehash all the things that 1,000 people have said by signing a petition and all the things that scores of people have said in the past meetings, especially when this local law number 2 was passed. It's tempting to try to do that, but I don't think we should be required to do that. The voice against, the voice to limit downtown dispensaries has been loud and clear. You've already heard that, and I hope you won't expect everyone to have to come back and repeat themselves. I hope you'll remember those voices. That's number one. Number two, with respect to the crisis of the moment, right? This demand letter from these lawyers who are representing the communal kitchen location. Part of this is what I call a manufactured crisis. What do I mean by that? According to that letter, the communal kitchen dispensary was denied. Their application was denied by reason of local law number 2. And apparently that was the only reason. That was a totally unnecessary action that triggered a crisis. The communal kitchen folks don't even have a cannabis use license from the state of New York. They can't operate. Why or what triggered the denial is totally unclear. Rescind the denial, end this crisis, and if and when these folks ever actually get a license from the state of New York, you can revisit it at that time. That's number one. Now, number two, if there's some sort of a notice defect with respect to local law number 2, let's fix it. But you have every reason to fix it. You have every reason to repass local law number 2 because we were told at the time it was legal. And you know that people want it. Let's fix any defects and let's take away this manufactured crisis. Thank you.
please come up.
Hi, my name is Janice Cohen. I'm a resident of Nyack for over 23 years. And I believe that we should pass the $2,000 square foot thing that we put down. I think it's in the best interest, especially with the gentleman that gave us this slideshow earlier about Nyack being a destination. Nyack was a real destination many, many years ago for all the bars and things here. And I just, as a resident, I'd rather not be a destination for dispensaries. You're here.
Anybody else?
I was getting them from a neighbor, I couldn't be here.
You can, if you have a written statement, you can hand it in, put it in the record, they can email it to us and we'll get it put in the record.
Close the public hearing tonight. It wouldn't be part of the record.
Okay, now can we just have a public comment when we get to the resolution anyway? We do public comments on the
But
resolution.
not after you close the public hearing. Once you close the public hearing, you cannot hear from anyone except me.
All right, so we'll keep the, anybody else have a comment right now? All right, we'll keep the public hearing open, for comments from, let's hear from the village board if anybody wants to state their thought here. Let me get mine, because I'll let them gather their thoughts. My position here has been clear from the beginning. I understand the concerns people have had about cannabis, particularly the location of the medicinal dispensary that's going into what was a very popular hangout in downtown Nyack, and that I think has been part of the real driver of some of the concerns here, particularly about kids. This was a place that kids used to go, and now it's being changed to a place that kids cannot go to. But my position from the beginning, and I say the beginning, I mean 3 or 4 years when we first encountered this, is that cannabis is a legal product. I don't know why we would regulate it differently from the way we regulate alcohol, we have bars, we have liquor stores. Liquor really has many of the same impacts on a community that cannabis does. And so my position from the beginning has been that I don't see why, if we don't strictly regulate the number of liquor stores or the number of bars, and we let the market dictate why we would treat cannabis any differently. That said, when this came up earlier this year, the issue of the medicinal dispensary opening, and that raised the question of what about the recreational dispensaries? I proposed a compromise position. I had originally argued for what was the state, what was going to be the state position that would restrict cannabis dispensaries to be within 1,000 feet of each other. They could not be any closer than 1,000 feet. At 1,000 feet restriction, that would have allowed up to, depending on how they were allocated, up to 3 recreational dispensaries in the downtown. And I understood from a lot of the public comments and a lot of people that came to the meetings, I understood why there was a lot of concerns about us getting inundated with too many recreational dispensaries. And I will just make the point that I know people are also concerned about the medicinal dispensary. The medicinal dispensary is completely exempt from all these discussions. The medicinal dispensary is approved under a different section of the law. It does not have the same proximity restrictions. It's not governed the way that recreational or adult use dispensaries are regulated. So under this, what was coming under the state law, the state did have a restriction of 2,000 feet. There was a possibility of them reducing it to 1,000 feet proximity restriction between 2 adult use dispensaries. Back 3 or 4 months ago, I proposed the legislation that currently is in effect, as well as the legislation that we're currently discussing today, to implement our own 2,000-foot restriction between recreational dispensaries so that we would not get more than 1 downtown dispensary in addition to the dispensary that is currently located and licensed up on Route 59. That compromise position, which was 2,000 feet, would have limited us to 1 recreational as well as the 1 medicinal dispensary that we don't have authority over. And just to be clear, we're not reducing the distance. It was 2,000 feet in the original legislation. It was 2,000 feet in the legislation as it was amended by hand at the meeting in May. It will still be 2,000 feet. The difference is the reference point. That the original legislation that we proposed made 2,000 feet from another recreational dispensary. What was changed by hand at the meeting was to say that the 2,000 feet also applied to medicinal dispensaries, which would mean that if the dispensary in the old Starbucks location were to open, that 2,000 feet would restrict any other downtown dispensary from opening, which would mean that there would be no recreational dispensary downtown. That then led to the possibility of we did get a letter indicating that there is a potential litigation involving a proposed dispensary at the old communal kitchen location up on Main Street. But more importantly, I felt that what we did by hand at the meeting was a mistake, that the compromise position of having 1 recreational and 1 medicinal dispensary downtown and the uptown recreational dispensary, I thought was a fair compromise between having essentially unregulated recreational dispensaries opening downtown and having no dispensaries downtown. I thought that we had struck the fair balance within the original legislation and the legislation that was then amended at the meeting. I thought it didn't strike that balance. So that's why, in addition to the fact that we have the potential for litigation by virtue of the fact that the person applying for the license at the communal kitchen location has spent a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of effort and reliance on the zoning as we had it. I don't think what we did to him was fair, regardless of the litigation potential liability. I just didn't think it was fair. I think that what we should do is restore the balance of the original legislation, which is what is on the table today. So I will be voting in favor of the legislation as written today. And if anybody else wants to speak, let them go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment that.
Are you on?
Am I on? Sorry, just making, yeah. I just want to make a comment that the hand change at the last resolution.
Yeah, hold on, hold on, I think it's turned off and not, it's turned on. That's what we said.
There you go.
Do it all? That's to go off, that's to go off. That's, am I on?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, sorry about that. So the amendment that I made at the last meeting, where we changed the resolution, it was in error. Because it turned out that the focal point of the 2,000 foot could not be from the medicinal dispensary. State law preempts that. In other words, medical dispensaries are exempt from any local legislation. So that was my mistake, and I apologize. I have considered, I'm looking at this and I see that the dispensary at the communal kitchen location, I think its bark is worse than its bite. I think there are advantages to that location. It's further up Main Street, number one. Number two, the 2,000 foot rule will preempt the medical dispensary at Starbucks from even considering moving to a hybrid